Hello, what have we here?
You're wrong.
Damn!
What the hell was that?
Game over, man. Game over.
You're wrong.
You finished?
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Greetings, boys and girls, lemurs and squirrels, and welcome to the Week in Geek for April 15th in this foul year of our Lord 2026, a wholly owned subsidiary of Free Range Idiocy, wherein we present our midweek of dose of geekery for you, the people. Thank you, sir. Sit back and relax as we scrape the best news we found off the bottom of the interweb shoe, let you know exactly how we feel about it. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the lead editor, chief bottle washer of the Week in Geek. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. You also have to add close follower behind car driver person, because
rage driver. Yes, yeah, I should have added that one in there.
A little snug.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Uncle Todd in our pre-production meeting about a fine, upstanding citizen that decided to react to. Apparently, I was a bit close, and of course, once you stop in the middle of a road and flash up what the speed limit should be, and then take off, I'm going to follow you very closely after that. So, it was just a very odd situation. So, anyways. But that is behind us. We have much before us, and we have our Week in Geek, and then we have our Friday. We're gonna have our WrestleMania preview show, because the next
Praise the
weekend
Lord
is
and pass the ammunition.
WrestleMania, the event that, if you believe Pat McAfee, is not worth the price of admission or the quality of the show. Which I gotta say, this has been the most ass backwards sort of marketing campaign that I've ever seen in my life. But we will get to that on the Friday episode. That's not a spoiler. That's a teaser, ladies and gentlemen. So yes.
Thank you, Mr. Heyman. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. How are you, sir? How are things going?
As usual, I'm pretty good for the shape that I'm in.
Are you tailgating people like I am? And I don't mean the sort of parking lot tailgating. I mean on the road.
No, man. Life is too short, man. I've seen Actually, today as we were out driving around, I was behind a couple of people who were literally, from my perspective, had to have been a couple feet off of the bumper of the car in front of them. Like, forget car length. We were talking a matter of feet. And I'm like, okay, I'm now 3 car lengths behind you, because when they do something stupid and you follow it up with something stupid, I want to be able to avoid your collective stupidity. I don't need that in my life. Like, unfortunately, I don't know how to say this. The state of Maine is not so much a state as it is a collective of people who don't know how to drive. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but this state is chock full of people who apparently learned how to drive a John Deere tractor and never, their driving level is not ascended beyond that. So there's plenty of people who are in the left-hand lane doing 15 under the speed limit, and then you have to try and pass them on the right, and then they magically decide to speed up. Because, oh my gosh, the audacity of anyone to want to go past me. Mm-hmm. So then you find yourself in, Fast and Furious, living quarter mile at a time with these idiots. And the other thing being that a lot of the times they like to drive in packs. So what they'll do is left and right lane will just pace each other. They drive in the worst possible place of right off the back quarter panel of somebody, right in the blind spot. So I've gotten used to the idea of, if I can't pass somebody, I just stay way behind, because I'm like, I don't need this kind of mess in my life.
Yeah.
So, I try to avoid those situations, because I can get very rageful driving. Mm-hmm. Because to me it's not so much that I'm in a hurry. It's not so much it's to me it is watching the gross stupidity and negligence of people who do not respect the fact that they are driving a several tons vehicle and are barely paying attention to what they're doing.
Yeah.
You should be skillful in your driving. And if you can't do that, there's public transportation and Uber. Get the F off the road. That's why to me, some people are like, I don't want to ever have self-driving cars. I'm like, there ought to be some people who are legislated to have self-driving cars, because they can't drive for shit. They need to be court ordered to be in a self-driving car, because they are a terror on the road. So
Yeah,
anyways.
as I said to you, the car in front of me was a BMW, and I found it interesting that apparently it was okay for that person to, do racing type maneuvers off of the stop, from the stoplight forward, so they could get into their lane. But then apparently I was following too close. So,
Mm-hmm.
We're all just bags of hypocrisy.
Yes. Yes, we are.
You know what I mean? But
And
enough
on
of that.
philosophical note.
Enough of our, driving and, tailgating sort of adventures. What is new with you, sir? I see something on our outline here that I don't know what the heck this is. I'm sure you're about to, enlighten and illuminate us with this, but what exactly is Marco's big day out on Friday? Did Marco have a hot date? And who is Marco again? Is this Marco the cat we're talking about?
This is Marco the cat.
Okay.
This is our second cat.
I didn't know if we had a new intern called Marco.
No. This is our Chaos Goblin, 16-pound cat, Marco.
All right.
And so Marco has decided that he really wants to go outside because he is curious about everything. So of course, like there's this gateway that goes out into a greater world that the couple days when it's been nice enough to open the windows for a little while, he can sniff it and he can hear it. He wants to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
So this happened Friday morning. I was getting up and I had made the determination. I'm like, okay, I got to start getting myself into a better routine. I was going to get up early. I'd gone to bed early. I was going to get up at 6. I was going to get my coffee. I was going to get some time in reading, doing some journaling. I was just going to have 2 hours of the morning to myself to really just kind of start the day off on a positive, relaxed way. And it didn't quite go that way. However, I feel the only appropriate way to convey this story is to channel one of the internet's favorite cat dads, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh God!
So if you'll allow me a second here.
Oh my God!
Well, son bitch, I got up the other day. I was about ready to get some coffee. I was walking around, and I'll be damn Marco, that son bitch. He's a solid ass cat. Like Happy, he's a solid cat, but Marco's solid ass cat. So he's there. I go outside. I had to go outside. I had to go out to the garage there because we've been burning these wood pellets, and I had a little bit of wood pellet left. Can't let them just sit there over the summer because that son bitch will collect the humidity, so you got to burn it all out. So I have a little bit. I'm going to go out.
Stone Cold has his chickens. Uncle Todd has wood pellets.
So I go out. I get my wood pellet, the little bit of wood pellets that left in the last bag, and I see, well, damn, somebody left some stuff for us out in the garage. I forgot to bring it in the night before, and there's some flowers, and then someone had bought me a nice bottle of scotch, and it just left out in the garage all night. So I said, damn, I got to get those inside. So I go in, bring the wood pellets inside, dump those, go back outside. I'm going back in to bring the flowers inside, and I got them in 2 hands on them, So I go in, I open the door, I open the inside door. That damn cat of mine just ran right out the damn door. Took off like a shot, man. Oh, so I put the flowers down. I have to go outside. I'm calling that sumbitch, and he won't come. He's under the Jeep. Then he goes under the other car. Then he's back under the Jeep. I'm chasing this man. God dang, man, this was rough, man. Out there, I was trying to track this damn thing down. He goes out. He goes under the fence into the backyard. I grab him by the tail. Ooh, he didn't like that. It was a snug right there, man. He didn't like that. That was a shoe right there, brother. So he goes under. I have to go around the backyard. I have to go out there. Then he goes back out under the fence. So I have to go through the gate out there. Then he's back under one car. I have to go up to the door, yell for my wife. I'm like, bringing goddamn cat treats out here. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. She's waking straight up. She doesn't know what the hell's going on out there. We get the damn cat cornered in the backyard. I grab a hold of him, get him by the scruff. I'm picking him up. He's screaming and hollering at me. I'm like, you lucky you goddamn cat. Grab you by both hands, just choke the shit out of you. So I bring him in. I fling him across. That solid ass cat just flew across my living room. So that was my Friday morning.
Oh my goodness, well done.
20 minutes of chasing a cat
boy
out in my yard. And we're right on Route 1, sir. Like this is 25 feet from Route 1.
Oh boy.
And but then the funniest part of this is for the rest of that day, Marco was so nice to me. He was like, wanted to buddy up. I'm like, I think he thinks it was a bonding experience.
So did you really grab his tail to try to get him?
I did, because he was going on. It's the one thing I had left to grab. I grabbed him. He screamed. He didn't.
Then you picked him up and you brought him in the house and threw him in the house.
So not really through him. I mean,
Yeah.
okay. Like I had to. So you have to grab the cat by the scruff, because that's like the off switch. You get him by that scruff at the back of the neck, and they're just like, and they hate that too because they understand. They're like, I can't do anything. So he's like, he's screaming his head off at me, and so I have him, and I kind of let him go because at the same time, like, Marco, he can be ornery. So I don't want to let him down next to me because I'm a little bit afraid that he is going to like turn around and come at me. So I kind of gave him a little, one of these. Yeah, I didn't hurl him. No, I kind of gave him one of these. So I gave him a little nudge so he get a little distance from me, Okay. And he landed on his feet and then he took off. But then like a half hour later, he comes around and for the rest of the day, like at my desk, he's rubbing up against my legs. I'm like, now all of us, you think we're buddies because we had this bonding adventure this morning? Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So that was my Friday morning. And
where was Happy in all this? Was Happy just sitting there like,
oh, he's inside. Happy. So the funny thing is, Happy was the feral cat, and he was brought in as a stray. Marco, I think, has always lived in the lap of luxury. So he like going outside to him is like, ooh. And Happy's just like, nah, I've been out there before. I'm good. This is a pretty sweet deal right here. Let me tell you.
I am not going to push buttons or cause problems. I'm enjoying this life, and I ain't gonna screw it up.
Nope. He's got 3 hots and a cot, and all the attention he could want. He's like, this is good. Marco, on the other hand, is like, I got to find out what's out there, and he's still doing it. He's still trying to get outside. He did it when we came home. Now we have to, when we open the door, we literally have to look inside and look where he's at.
Oh, gosh.
And be ready to play goalie to keep him from going outside.
You know what you need? You need something like an airlock, where you have like a space with 2 doors, so you walk in the front door and now you're in this like, airlock room. You kind of look into the next room and be like, okay, there he is. And then if you open that door and he tries to make a run for it, at least, the airlock, but the door behind just closed. So the airlock gets secure.
So you're saying we know like from $12,000 of like, of additions to my house for the cat. That's what you're trying to say.
Basically. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. By the way, we had a couple of BSG birthdays in the past, like week and a half, I think.
We did.
Yeah, I believe Katie Sackhoff, I think she turned 46, I think.
Very nice.
And Trisha Helfer just had a birthday the other day.
Wow.
So there's a whole bunch in the Battlestar sphere. There was a whole bunch of congratulatory messages and pictures and so forth. So happy birthday to Six and Starbuck.
Yes, happy birthday indeed.
Oh, my throat is sore from doing Stone Cold that whole time.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, my gosh, you were. It was kind of funny to hear you do that because. You had moments of I wasn't sure where you're going. You're like, and then God dang.
I literally was.
You had to hone the act, but I mean, for on the spot, my friend, that was phenomenal.
I was also it's also like the dad from A Christmas Story, like talking about the Bumpus Hounds. Like that's literally where I was at. Just under my breath, like calling Marco a mofo. I'm just like, you little motherfucker, come here. Yep. And he's under the big eyes, just looking at me. I'm like, oh, if I get my hands on you.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so that was my Friday morning. But anyways, Marco's, I figured I would share that with everyone.
Big day out on Friday. Very nice. Wow. Well, all I'm going to say is the state I was in Friday morning, I would not have given very good chase to the cat.
No, you would not have. You'd have been like, screw it. We can get another one from the pound for $50.
Doors open if you want to come in.
We might find one behind the dumpster. Just wander in the house.
We don't want Marco to turn out like Lefty now. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Poor Lefty.
Are we talking Lefty 1, 2, or 3? Wasn't there like 3 of them?
Whatever the most recent Lefty was.
Yeah. Lefties did not have a very good record at the Broken
at the Stone
Skull
Cold
Ranch.
Ranch. No,
No.
not at all. Not at all. All right. Well, this week we had some trailers that came out. Uncle Todd made me aware of one of them, and then the other was something I came across, and then I watched Raw kind of later in the week and saw they did a whole spiel on it. So, so the first one, the one that I think we're all very interested in, is The Punisher: One Last Kill with John. Is it Bernthal?
Is it Barenthal?
Barenthal.
Let me see.
I'm awful.
I can't find the. Anyways,
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's Barenthal, but
John Bernthal. Hold on. The Punisher. Let's see. John Bernthal. I was right. John Bernthal.
Okay. Barenthal.
But yeah, he is coming back as the man with
Frank
a little
Castle.
bit of an anger issue. So
You could say that. I mean, he's got a pretty legit gripe,
and
he has the skills in which to take care of things.
I have a special set of skills.
Except turn that up about by 5.
That's right. All right. Well, we're going to watch the trailer and give you a voiceover as we're watching it. So if you want to watch
as usual,
along,
the link. Oh, I'm sorry. You were just doing that. Never
No, I
mind.
was going to say, if you want to watch along, we will count down the start so you can synchronize with us.
Yeah, the
But
link
what were
is
you
in
gonna
the
say,
show
sir?
notes.
There you go. Link is in the show notes. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Are you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he kind of looks a little bit like Wolverine. A little bit. Frank's disheveled, bearded.
Which is usually not a good sign for bad guys.
No, it's not. And he's sitting in an empty room with people flashing in and out of existence, so that can't be good. I'm assuming this is what happened to his wife and daughter, right? We're kind of
Well,
seeing
his wife and daughter were killed. That's kind of the origin story.
Right. Yeah.
What he's seeing there, I think, is happening to other people, though.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh. Now his toilet's overflowed. Water's rolling into the room. What's going on here?
I love this.
Was that water or is that gasoline? Oh boy.
So this is Disney Plus. So we got an F-bomb, and it looks like the Punisher here is taking care of business. So I mean, this could be more. This has the potential to be more violent than Deadpool, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, him walking around disheveled with a hood on. Looks like there's about to be a whooping.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Swinging some hardware around.
Yeah, and it seems like we are definitely into the Punisher, like in full PTSD. Like he is.
Yep.
He is
man.
The least emotionally stable we've seen the Punisher.
Oh, there we go.
And then we end on the
One
nice
last kill.
chord.
Very nice.
I am so looking forward to this. Like I went back and watched the Netflix Punisher series.
So what was that? Was that like a couple seasons, or was that?
It was 2 seasons. The second season I felt kind of lost its way a little bit. I might have to
And
go
it was
back.
John
and watch
Bernthal,
it.
right? John Bernthal
Yeah.
was okay.
And so, but the first season was, oh my gosh, it was kind of like, wow, okay, we're, and like it definitely didn't pull punches, but at the same time, it wasn't like it was so over the top. Sorry, still scratchy. But I mean, it really felt like the character. Like this is someone who is unhinged, and it was originally introduced in the Daredevil Netflix series, then came back in Daredevil Born Again, and now I believe he's also going to be in the second season of Daredevil, and we know he's in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
So I mean, it's kind of cool to see the Punisher kind of make it into the MCU and really make it in a good way. And apparently, like when he first took the role, and he was going to do research in the comic shop, and he was going to buy a whole bunch of comics, and the person at the store recognized him. It was like, no, I'm not selling you these. These are the ones you need to read. And it was essentially this one, don't F it up. Because I mean, a lot of people are very, very passionate about this character because it is a guy who is not really superpowered. Like his superpower is that he's angry and nothing to lose, you know? So yeah, very interesting. But your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I haven't followed it as closely as you have. So I am interested to see, you know, what he does with this, and or what, you know, Marvel is kind of doing with him. I probably need to go back and watch those first 2 seasons, because like a lot of that area of Marvel, I just haven't. You know, like when they have the shows on Netflix and stuff, like Jessica Jones and what was the other one?
There's Iron Fist. There's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Luke Cage. Was that another
that
one?
too? Yep.
I just never watched it. I just didn't have time
Yeah.
to keep up with all of them, and
Me
so
neither.
sounds like I need to get back to it. But what I will say is, if you want to see John, and I'm kind of curious if some of this kind of comes through now when he plays the Punisher, but he was in The Walking Dead.
He was?
Yeah, John Bernthal. Oh yeah, he played one of the key like character, like one of the main cast for 2 seasons. And shall we say, the character he played became more and more unhinged as those 2 seasons played out, to the point where yeah, he didn't make it into season 3. So but you know, that was when Walking Dead was very much playing, you know, like a lot of the character arcs and the stories were very much about the moral quandary that people have when they're in this sort of environment of survivalism and that sort of thing. And so you had what was interesting is, not to go too deep on it, but what his character was preaching to the main character was the fact that you can't, you know, his I'm trying to think of his name. God, my brain doesn't work when I need it to. Let me just
Welcome to my world.
Let me just look up Walking Dead real quick. Okay, Rick Grimes, who is the main character, he ends up, you know, he is a sheriff, and he's, as they progress through this chaotic world that they now live in, there's an element of him trying to hold on to the morality and the way the world was, you know, before things all fell apart. And what John Bernthal's character, who I'm trying to find here real quick, Shane, yeah, his name was Shane Walsh. What his friend is trying to help him understand is the fact that, you know, you have to, you can't be the same person you were. You have to fight dirty. You have to assume it's going to be kill or get killed. And what was funny about that was, once, you know, Shane kind of goes away, Rick slowly becomes what Shane was as time goes on. Not fully, like, it's not like he becomes fully evil, but he gets to a place of there has to be a ruthlessness. You have to have some common sense about you in this world, or you are going to be, you're going to be killed. You're going to be eaten by it. And so just with the Punisher, I think, you know, when I first saw the show, or at least commercials for the show with him as that character, I'm like, oh, this is a role that this guy is gonna knock out of the park, because he just played that Shane character so well. And not that Shane was a Punisher type, but just that unhinged part, he nailed it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
well, the funny thing about the Punisher is, at least the way that Bernthal is playing him, is that there is a morality to the character.
yeah.
But that morality is also flexible and is ruthless. And like, there is this unhinged aspect, but it's in a way, it's this weird sort of controlled unhinged. You know, where it's like, this is a guy who can keep it under control, but once the genie's out the bottle, there's no putting it back. Yeah. Like, it is literally at that point, like, you are now dealing with the full force of this thing, and you're it's almost like a John Wick sort of thing, where it's like you've now unleashed someone that you don't fully understand, or in the case of you know, his former boss, like, he totally understands and he totally knows what they're in for. But it's like, if you just come across this guy and you flip that switch, like, God help you.
Yep.
You don't stand a chance, you know. No, I am very excited for that. That's gonna be a good watch. I'll have to carve out some time. I'll have to find a time for my wife to get out of the house at that point, because there's no way I can watch that with her in the house. Like, just even the sound effects are going to be like her, like, you need to leave. I'm like, okay,
fair enough.
I'll be in the basement watching this on my laptop with headphones on.
Yes. Let's see.
Yes.
What else do we got? Oh, and so the other. Oh, sorry. What's that?
I was like, 2 thumbs up on that one. Now we'll see about this one.
Indeed. Would you recommend I watch the 2 seasons of The Punisher before I?
I would, yes.
Okay.
So I mean, I kind of regret the fact that I didn't watch Daredevil to kind of see the entry of the Punisher in there, and I've kind of thought about going back to try and catch some of those episodes. But again, time is tight, so I don't have that. I would recommend it if you have the time, especially this first season. Like the first season, even if you didn't catch the second season, I'm sure there's tie-ins. Because Marvel is definitely trying to pull more of those characters into the MCU now, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So it is worthwhile getting to kind of know some of them.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to tie into like season 2, but season 1, I feel like in general, it's a very good intro to who the character is, and kind of lets you know who they are at this point. So yeah,
nice, very nice. All right, so we have that trailer, and then the other one that came out, which is going to be kind of interesting, is Hulk Hogan, Real American. Should I get the winged eagle belt out in
please don't.
Deference to? Well, I think I might have to.
If you do that, I'm going to have to boo you, just like Hogan was in his last televised appearance. Boo.
You can boo me all you want.
Boo.
Look at the gleam off the gold, baby. Look at the gleam. Oh,
yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Right off those fluorescents.
That's right.
Nothing but the best for your home studio.
That's right.
By the way, what were the final results on your bracket? Did you end up winning?
No, there was a coworker who, and I asked the guy too. I was like, "Hey, by the way, did you nail the final 4, or did you?" He's like, "No, I didn't." But the way they did scoring is you got a certain number of points for correct picks, and then you got like bonus points or like extra points if you correctly picked like an underdog to or an upset. If a bracket was an upset, you got a few more bonus points. So he got me that way, but I was honestly really surprised. I'm sitting here like, I basically almost damn near nailed the thing for the majority of the tournament, and he beat me by 2 points. And I'm like, how on earth is someone who didn't get the final 4 even in the ballpark with me? You know what I mean?
I mean, normally this is where I would heal it up, but I got to agree with you. That's lame.
That work.
Is lame.
It's a younger person. I don't want them to feel bad about the victory. I wanted to, celebrate to some degree.
I think you need to bring in not that one. You need to bring in the world's heavyweight championship belt and cut a promo on him.
We're talking about doing a. I should bring the belt in and do a promo, cut a promo on him. Yeah, that's probably a quick way to get to the boot out the door. It's like, hey, we're good.
What a way to go, I mean, it's not like the world and the economy is, not
then
in great shape
pyro.
right now.
I want pyro on the way out. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, get a couple people there with some sparklers.
Yeah.
Do the Gilbert pyro.
I was toying with the idea of because we're basically doing we're thinking about doing something that in the software circles called a hackathon, where you have people who you have ideas that people can kind of go after, and they kind of within 2 days and a lot of time try to prototype up something to achieve that thing. And there was a part of me that was thinking about, is part of the prize for the team that wins a picture with the big gold belt, although I've got to put hackathon across it. Not
you've got to have something better than that. No, I thought that you were actually going to give them the belt.
There'll be something else. It's like it's like one part of it. Like there'll be like a prize or something like that for the top 3, or whatever. So I was just toying the idea. It'd be kind of funny to bring the big gold belt in and be like, hey, you guys are number 1. You get to flaunt it with the title. So I don't know. Just a thought. But we weren't talking about that. We were talking about Hulk Hogan, the Real American, and the documentary trailer that is about to come out on Netflix. about him, which I'm kind of curious where that goes because Netflix is in bed with WWE in terms of programming. So I know I'm trying to remember, the Vince McMahon documentary was on Netflix too, right?
It was. So I'm very curious, that was masterminded by Bill Simmons and some other folks in the Ringer, wasn't he? So I can't remember who this one was by. So we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna watch this one right now and give a little bit of a overview or not overview, our commentary as it goes. Sir, are you all queued up?
I am.
All right, we're gonna count down. If you want to synchronize with us, 3, 2. I am a real American. All right, 1. Here we go. I do remember that American-made tank top that looked like it came from, the T-shirt shop down the road, sort of thing,
Ironed on, yeah.
Yep. Or I have a comment about the slam because I saw something on Instagram about the real first person who slammed Andre. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, tons of people had slammed him before that.
Oh, had they? Oh, I didn't know.
Oh
that.
yeah, there was several people. I mean, it counted as it was that deal of like. Yeah. Anyways, oh, there's a Sheik. Sheik made it in.
Sheiky, baby. Sheiky.
He's doing the job, but still.
King Kong Bundy. He was a human action figure. He was for the
Hogan.
Time. Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh totally.
Yep. The old Yokozuna victory.
Yeah. A sinister
side. Was there a sinister side? Yes, there was. And Jim Cornette was validated by that statement.
Oh my gosh. Can you even imagine? Like, I want the Jim Cornette commentary track on this.
Yep.
Oh,
Bret Hart, he's a liar. You know when you get Bret Hart in, you're gonna get the full gossip.
I mean, the thing is, bringing Bret Hart in is like, he's like, hey Bret, we want you to come in and talk about Hogan. Say less. I'll be on a flight tomorrow.
And you know what's going to happen? Bret's going to say something about Goldberg too. He's going to work it in there somehow. So. Oh, there it is. They're getting booed.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is like they're kind of like they are showing some warts here.
Yeah, they are showing the warts. It seems. We'll see how far they go, but. Legend of Hulk Hogan.
Live forever, brother.
I don't know, man. Work some Shawn Michaels from SummerSlam material in there.
April 22nd that premieres.
Yeah.
What do you think, sir? You were more of the wrestling historian out of the two of us. How do you feel about this?
Man who held the gold. How do I feel about this?
Yes.
I honestly want to give, just off reaction to the trailer, I'm curious how far they're going to go in terms of the sinister part. Because as we've heard from Uncle Corny and others that, he was not he has not been the most honest person. His ego and his reputation precedes him. So I'm kind of curious about that. I mean, I think it, he passed away last year. I think it's going to be interesting to, show his story. And, again, I don't know how much they're going to do with his wife and what she gets into and all of that. But no, I mean, he, like all of us, he's a flawed person. I think probably what makes it worse is when you're someone who's out there, talking about the 5 demandments and, as he called them, for say your prayers, eat your vitamins, all that stuff. And then he's not, the vitamins and stuff like that, I could care less, but just when he's not conducting himself in the way that he's portraying himself, like that's always a recipe for disaster. And it's well documented how he, probably played the politics game, both in WWE and WCW, and
that's not going to work for me, brother.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. And, you end up getting I think it was the 2006 SummerSlam with Shawn Michaels being the human bumping machine that he was for Hogan, because it's like, all right, well, if this is what we're going to do, then here's what I'm going to give you. So, So yeah, so I'm kind of curious where they go. With the Vince McMahon one, I don't know who's producing this one. I don't know if this is Bill Simmons again or if it's someone else altogether. But I'm sure it's not going to be a Hatchet piece because he has since passed on, and I'm sure there's going to be. But I hope they are honest and put a spotlight on what some of those shortcomings were for him, and tell the as best they can, tell the story as it is. I mean, this is a guy who had really everything going on for him for most of his career, and then we get into the 2000s and he's he wraps up with WCW. He has another run with WWE. He starts doing a
Don't forget TNA. He was there for a while too.
I'm sorry, you're right. He did TNA, but then he also somewhere in there had a what's the kind of show like the Kardashian shows? What are they called?
Hogan Knows Best reality show.
Reality shows. Thank you. He has these his own reality show, and then his family just implodes. Like, his son has a really awful car accident where someone's life is taken because of him, basically. His family just blows up. I think when he passed away, he had no relationship with his daughter, and he wasn't talking to his wife, as she mentions in the trailer. So, the guy, will always be known as the Babe Ruth of wrestling, but it wasn't like he went out with everything intact. Like there's a lot of loss and a lot of damage, I think, in the wake of all that. And so, so I'm definitely interested. I'm going to be, I think we maybe need to circle back to this, watch it ourselves and be like, was this knowing what we know about him, and what we've heard from others in the business about how he conducted himself and so forth, was this an honest portrayal of him, or was this kind of a ginned up story about, the real American brother or not?
So I did a quick look up on this. This is produced by Words and Pictures in association with WWE, directed by Brian Storkel.
Okay. That kind of answers the question partially.
Yeah, so executive producers is a large team including Connor Schell, Libby Geist, Aaron Cohen, Lee Finning, he of basically now the in-house producer of WWE television, Ben Hauser, and WWE's Paul Levesque. So the thing is here, like it wouldn't surprise me for them to air a lot of the warts, because they're out there. Like it's like you can't cover this stuff up like you used to be able to.
Yeah.
It's out there, but I do feel like this is probably going to be much more of a shine piece. You know what I mean?
I am kind of curious that the clip they showed of him being booed while he was posing, that was not too long after, and I don't want to go too deep into politics here, but he made an appearance at a particular party's convention, and it wasn't too long after that. They were in California. And I think, from what I remember reading, I think some of that reaction was to the fact that he threw his support in a particular direction. But I'm curious.
Well, then there's also
wait. I'm curious if they're even going to go down that road. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, they're not going to. No.
They're not.
No. And I mean, and the thing is, like, it's not just that, like that was, that's enough that, there's going to be some boos. But I mean, Hogan has had several other incidents, of, smack talk, racism, of, various remarks.
That'll be curious if they even touch on that.
Yeah. Cause I mean, that is a big part. That is kind of the culmination of that. Like, I don't look at that as just because he threw his personality behind one particular party or another. I look at that as like, that is kind of like that. This is a whole bunch of stuff that have been going on for over a decade, and because before, when he was one of the co-hosts for the WrestleMania in Tampa, after they had the COVID mania, at the Performance Center, and then they did the Make Good one where everyone was like socially distanced during COVID. He was, if I remember right, he was one of the co-hosts for that, and he didn't exactly get a warm reception.
Yeah.
You know, he was very tepid.
Yep.
And for Hulk Hogan at a time where, you know, in Florida, where kind of like he had a presence for a long time, it's not all that surprising when you then see him on Netflix and people are like, oh, just go the F away.
Yep.
No, we're done with you. That sort of thing. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, the comments he made, the racist comments he made, were also part and parcel of a video, right? That was what exposed the fact that he had, I mean, cheated on his wife, and you know was, or I don't know if he was separated from his wife yet or not, but he was friends with Bubba the Love Sponge, and he like slept with Bubba's wife. I mean, it was just this weird situation. But anyways, it just at the end of the day, it was just a lot of stuff came out, and it wasn't. It just didn't reflect very well on him. So
new.
And to your point, I think some of that as well played into, you're right, that reaction. Because I think, you know, a lot of people, just were disappointed with what they got.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of done with him. And you do hit that point of like you can only mess up so many times in public before people are just like, yeah, no, I'm kind of good. So it'll be interesting to see how that's treated. I'm sure I'll catch it at some point because, you know, I'm a sucker for documentaries. So anywho,
indeed. Sorry,
oh boy,
in my hand another thing.
I see we've got a returning feature up next.
Well, it's been a little bit. Although, to be honest, I don't know that there's anything terribly new here. What I wanted to kind of chat through, I think we talked about this a couple weeks back, but from our friends at Mandatory via Yahoo, you know, once again, part of the portfolio. But your friend, My Time to Shine Hello.
Oh, son of a bitch, this guy. God, who doesn't he write for? They're just making up different sections and putting, like, they're creating an empire. It's like, it's an empire of just gauze and cotton balls and fog. That's all it is.
Well, the rumor here is that Loki only has 2 or 3 scenes in Avengers Doomsday, that he is not in it very much. And there is where the rumors kind of go is to the fact that he has a face off essentially with Doctor Doom. He dies, and it kind of plays into you know, the plans that Doom has to deal with the multiversal chaos that is going on. Okay. And what I thought was kind of interesting about it was, and we might have talked about this last time, but that will now mark, you know, the second time that Loki will have died at the beginning of essentially a duology of Avengers movies that are kind of wrapping up, you know, the existing or the currently running saga.
And overall, it's a couple times that he's died in the movies.
Yes, yes.
It's not just the only 2 times.
And you know, what I find interesting about their like, if this is what ends up happening, what's interesting about that decision is, you know, I really, Loki, the series was actually very well done and told a very good story about his journey from how he started out as still kind of that selfish, you know, impish kind of younger brother who, you know, had grandiose ideas of what was his famous line? Glorious purpose. I have glorious purpose. And he ends up fulfilling that.
Burdened with glorious purpose.
That's
the only way you can ratchet that up to be more high and mighty.
And he ends up, you know, basically getting that. But when he gets to a point of wanting to make a choice to do something selfless for others so that they can exist. And so, so it's kind of interesting that they would, you know, coupled with that is a, you know, rumor that the TVA ends up getting wiped out as part of this. Thor and Steve Rogers reportedly traveled to the TVA during a mission, but arrive after a devastating event has occurred. And let's see, Loki and several characters from the Disney series possibly killed. So it could be, you know, could this be the way they start off? I mean, it is very similar to how Avengers Infinity War started. I mean, Thanos basically beat up Hulk and killed Loki, and then basically left the Asgardians to die.
As
After as most villains do. So thoughts on this? Thoughts on Doctor Doom? Getting a little bit of, if you will, this is kind of like if Doctor Doom is Obafemi and Loki is Brock, he's kind of putting him over here, giving him some shine, baby, some shine from my time to shine. Hello.
Are we gonna see Doctor Doom coming in? Because if so,
I make you so happy and drive me bonkers. You know what I mean?
You know who would make happy? My wife. So like the last couple weeks, it's just kind of worked out where I'll be watching wrestling, or I'll be catching up on it most often, like on my lunch break. And because I'm working from home, my lunch break is taken in the living room, as you do. And I'll be watching Netflix, and it just happens to be when Obafemi comes out. And I remember my wife was saying, she said from like the other room, because like Oba's music was playing, she's like, I really like his music, like it's very dramatic. And so then like I was watching it the other day, and I was like, oh, here comes your guy. And she's like, it's so funny like how he does that thing, and I'm like, they're showing people in the crowd doing it, and she's like, oh my gosh, they're all doing it. I'm like, oh, it's such a meme now, like this is a thing on Instagram and TikTok and all that. So and then I told her today, I was like, well, ESPN, because they're doing the thing with WWE now, they're doing the first hour of each night live on ESPN2 to try and trap people into going to get the app. I said, one of the matches that's going to be the first hour, it's your guy Obafemi. And she's like, I was like, I might get her to actually watch a little bit of WrestleMania. I don't know, we'll see.
That's what they say, but we all know Brock just wants to get the hell out of Dodge, and so I think it's more that than anything else.
Oh, totally. But, I love how they played that up as it's a real main event of wrestling. Like, no, Brock wants to get in, get out, and he wants to be back in Saskatchewan by the time the event's over.
Yeah, basically. But by the time Punk Reigns is finished, he wants to be wheels down in Saskatchewan.
When they're putting up the Leaf Fitting, produced by Leaf Fitting and Paul Levesque, he wants to be like in his car, his SUV, heading back to his compound in the wilds of Saskatchewan.
I will say this about Oba.
Yeah,
and we're way off topic here, because
I know. I was like, you said you weren't going to talk about wrestling today.
One thing about Oba, when the crowd does that, in his music as well, it is very reminiscent of Samoa Joe. And when Samoa Joe was in WWE, not that it started there, because this started in Ring of Honor and other independents, the crowd would get that chant going, Joe's gonna kill you, Joe's, and I feel like they're not doing that with Oba, but like I get that feel from it when they start chanting his name. Like there's just this.
Well, you got the Oba. Oba.
Yeah.
It is like you get the whole arena chanting that.
Yeah.
And then you get Brock's sell of it when he's looking around like wide-eyed.
That's where I was going to go. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That is like
the heck.
That takes it to that other level of like, wow, this is some serious stuff that's going on.
Yeah. So all that to say, Doctor Doom is Oba, and Loki is Brock, and it sounds like Loki is getting jobbed out potentially in Doomsday, which is a little disappointing, because I was hoping he would have a little bit. And again, we're basing this on a rumor. The rumor could be totally wrong, but if we play with the idea that they're going in that direction, it's not the worst thing in the world. I feel like Loki got a great. There was a great finish for that character at the end of season 2 of Loki. I thought that was, and we I think have done a few episodes on this about how he ends, sitting on that throne, holding all the timelines, bringing order in the midst of chaos, and he is burdened with glorious purpose to keep everything in order, and he's content. Like he's very content, and that was kind of a great way to end leave that story and leave that character. It's just kind of disappointing now that it's got to go in that direction where he gets wiped out, potentially, if that's what they're doing. But it is an interesting way to give some juice to Doom, because we haven't seen Doom yet. And what are we? It's like Thrawn in Star Wars. We haven't seen Thrawn do anything yet, other than get back to the galaxy that he had been exiled from.
Hmm.
We haven't seen him do anything yet. That is the reason why myself and a ton of fans are excited to see him.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a fan base that's kind of like, what's the big deal with this guy? You know what I mean? He's like, okay, he's this blue-skinned, red-eyed guy. Why is everyone all
With a little-
aflutter about it? You know,
With a little bit of a punch.
well, yes, well, you know,
At least
apparently
he's
they
being good in that other part of the galaxy.
apparently they you know, didn't have those you know, microwavable diet meals to kind of keep everything, you know.
Well, I mean, when you're stuck in another part of the galaxy, I mean, who wants to do cardio? So remind me again, are they saying like he's going to get offed at the beginning of the movie? Like that's kind of the. So I don't know that I buy that.
He and the TVA done.
I don't know that I buy that right at the beginning. Maybe, but if
Well,
it definitely makes
not
sense to
right.
do
It might not be the very first thing we see, but it's
Mhm.
going to be in the early part of the movie.
Okay, maybe. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It is kind of funny that this would be like yet another death for Loki and yet another death at the first quarter of the flick. But it makes perfect sense because you have to kind of put over the bad guy, and how do you do that? That was the way you put over Thanos, like just have him choke the snot out of Loki.
Yep.
And he means business. And
Yep.
do it, and not only just do it, but put down Hulk like it's easy, and then choke out Loki like it's nothing, and there's no emotion to it. It's
Mhm.
there's nothing personal. It's just business. That sort of mentality.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you would do that, and it would also make
I-
sense just in the sense of like where he is holding all the timelines together. Like this is the guy that you have to take out if you really want to start really wreaking some chaos and taking out timelines, because otherwise he'll stop you. Like, so this is the guy you got to go after.
And I should correct one thing. This article does not state it would happen early in the movie. It's stating that Loki will not have a lot of, will have less scenes than originally thought.
Which makes sense as well, because I mean he's sitting on he's busy. Dude's busy.
Yep.
So it makes sense,
Yep. So that is our Avengers Doomsday Rumor of the Week.
All right, cool.
Our next one from our friends at Direct.com, Marvel Studios officially delays the MCU's third saga. So as we close out the current saga that we're in, which is the multiversal saga, apparently the saga to follow will get delayed by a bit. So the announcement was Marvel Studios recently adjusted its post-Secret War schedule, effectively removing the initial February 18th, 2028 release date from the slate. The slot was originally reserved for Black Panther 3, but the sequel has reportedly been pushed back 5 months to July 28th, 2028. And because February is no longer in play, the third saga is now expected to commence on May 5th, 2028, with a currently unannounced mystery project taking the lead. Oh, okay. This, let's see. Yeah, so this shuffle officially delays the start of the next chapter by nearly 3 months. So,
any idea what this chapter next saga is? Like,
it doesn't really say. So the multiverse. So I guess we're in the multiverse saga, and that is going to wrap with Secret Wars next year, next December. And then let's see. The updated calendar for the third saga currently looks like May 5th of 2028, then July 28th of 2028, December 15th, same year. And then we get into May 4th, 2029. Oh, that's strong right there. They're doing May 4th a release when it's May the 4th. Come on. May 4th is Star Wars' day, not Marvel's.
Yeah, but the Star Wars hasn't done squat on that day, really.
Oh, maybe they're doing a crossover with Star Wars. Ah! I'm joking.
God, I hope not. So
you hope I'm not joking, or you?
I hope you're joking. It's so difficult to tell because they've shuffled the release schedule, and like all those movies that were announced before now are kind of like who knows where they're at. So I'd actually have to see an updated list of this. But I mean,
so if you open the article, there is a list of confirmed projects that will be happening in the third saga, and I will go through them quickly.
Well, I'm more curious about like what's rounding out this saga, like what, because before they had like X-Men and all this other stuff.
Rounding out this saga is going to be Spider-Man, and then we're going to get Avengers Doomsday, and then Avengers Secret Wars. I don't know if there's anything in between those two. Okay. But for the third saga, there's Black Panther 3. There is going to be an X-Men movie. Shang-Chi 2.
God, we got to wait all this time for that?
Armor Wars,
Okay.
Blade, and then so those are the ones that are confirmed, and then the ones that are rumored are Doctor Strange 3, Thor 5, Fantastic Four 2, and then a team up of Deadpool and the X-Men.
That's like a no-brainer. Okay.
Then this other one called Midnight Suns. I don't know what this is about. Oh, rumored characters include Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone, and Man-Thing. I don't know.
The fact that we've had to wait this long for Moon Knight is like Shang-Chi and Moon Knight having to wait this long is egregious.
Very much so.
Like two of the
Very
more
much so.
interesting characters they've had, and we're still sitting on those.
And I find it hard to believe that Shang-Chi isn't going to have a role. I mean, this does not say he's not going to have a role, but I'm just surprised we're not getting Shang-Chi 2 during the multiversal saga. Like, why are we waiting until the third saga to finally have his sequel when he debuted in the middle of this one?
I think part of it comes down to like the grand reshuffling that happened because of Kang, you know, and what you have to work around with that. You know, it's a little bit like wrestling, like when you have an injury and then you have to rework your entire card for like the next 6 months because it's like, well, this whole thing was supposed to happen, but we can't do that. So now,
or you have to rework your seminal event that happens every March or April.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
we will see.
I'm not going to go into super depth on these movies. I don't think there's much storyline wise that's been figured out or put out there. The X-Men one, story details tightly guarded, but Cyclops and Jean Grey are expected to be face of the team, and there'll be characters like Gambit, Rogue, Nightcrawler, Beast, Angel potentially rounding out the roster. Mr. Sinister reportedly under consideration as the primary villain. Let's see, Shang-Chi 2. Let's see. No plot details confirmed.
Oh, man.
Armor Wars, that's going to be Don Cheadle. Was repurposed into a feature film in 2022. Cheadle still... Yeah, no director's been announced. Project's been pretty quiet. Blade. Let's see. Doctor Strange 3. I don't know if I want to see a Thor 5, if I'm being honest, but...
Well, the tough thing is, the funny thing is, Thor is one of those is kind of like the most Marvel. It used to be kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Marvel universe, and now it's become like the most Marveliest Marvel character, series of them all, because you had a fairly solid beginning. Like the initial Thor movie was good. And it was kind of like in line with like Captain America one, first one. It had a vibe that was kind of different, but it was also a little stiff.
Yeah.
Then Thor 2 was like, introduce some character. It was just meh. Then Ragnarok came along, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And then we have the letdown of Love and Thunder, which I still think it's not the most horrible movie ever, but it did not live up to expectations. Might just be because after Endgame and Infinity War, like nothing was going to live up to those. So and Ragnarok too. Ragnarok was a kick-ass movie.
Yeah.
So that kind of it almost feels like it's sort of like the MCU at this point, like the ups and the downs and kind of where we're all at, where it's like, I don't really want to see a Thor 5. Well, you don't until maybe it's Ragnarok, because no one was really crying out for Thor 3 until we got Ragnarok. Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Give me all the Thor. Give me all the Thor. And now we're just like, not so much.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want my Shang-Chi. So we'll see.
So overall, I mean, honestly, I haven't really thought much about whatever this third saga is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the mutant saga. I don't know what it's going to be exactly.
It's gotta be, right? I mean, it has to be. It has to be leaning into that.
Question for you though, which we don't have to go very long with though.
Yes.
How are you feeling about another saga? Like, we've talked about there being that sort of superhero fatigue.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to say personally for me, I've just, there's a number of Marvel properties I haven't watched yet. Didn't watch Wonder Man. Still haven't seen She-Hulk. Still haven't seen Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like, are we getting to the point where we're looking at the rearview mirror of Marvel as a force in theater? Does this need to start to wind down because I don't know, the uniqueness, the specialness of it,
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't feel like it's there anymore. And it could be also just something with me in the phase of life that I'm in. I mean, both of my kids were in middle school, high school during the the glory years.
Yeah.
They went off to school, college, not in the house, so we're not watching this stuff as a family as much as we used to. Younger one tends to watch it more than the older one does, or myself. So it's all fragmented, and there isn't as much of a, I don't know. I mean, I think there's excitement around the Avengers movie and the Spider-Man movie, definitely, but it just feels like it's become less like must-see viewing for us. And so as we get into a third saga, I don't know, it just kind of feels like Marvel as a property is starting to lose its luster. Like it's there, it's probably going to tell great stories, but it's just not like that must-see event that it once felt like when we were in kind of the first saga.
Well,
The Infinity Saga, I guess.
yes. And let's also not discount the fact that COVID changed everything, and that theater attendance is down, and that going to the movies is just not something that people do on a regular basis anymore because we have streaming.
Yep.
So there's all of those things that are, I think, make it difficult to say that one thing in particular is what is tearing down MCU, whether it's like the movies like Love and Thunder or the Eternals or the 18 different threads that are still hanging from post credit scenes.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's just hanging out there that we're like, well, what about this? And just the expanse of I mean, take your pick of the number of things that are contributing to all of this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to, like a lot of things, it comes down to like, what is the last thing? And right now Fantastic Four did all right. I mean, I forget what the box office numbers were, but it did well at theaters. I mean, which is something considering what theaters are right now.
Mm-hmm.
If Doomsday and Secret Wars and the new Spider-Man flick are all big box office giants, there's going to be a flood. My Time to Shine, hello, will be over the moon about the future of the MCU. Will be, bullish on everything coming out. And if it doesn't, then yeah, we could be heading there. I think there is definitely fatigue. Like I have not finished. I started watching Wonder Man. I don't think I made it through the full first episode, just because I ran out of time. And that's kind of where I've been at. You were asking me before if I was going to, before the show, if I was going to watch For All Mankind. It's like, I just don't know when I'm going to have time. Like,
yeah,
but that's my particular life circumstances are a lot different right now. So it's just like, I don't have that sort of time on my hands. So, but I also wonder how many other people are in the same boat where it's like, who does have that amount of time on their hands to keep up with all of this stuff? It is where that expansive universe comes into play. So I don't know, man. It's like, I think there's a little bit of everything going on, but at the same time, it will not take a lot to get people ginned up and excited about this because, dude, X-Men is killer. X-Men is a killer franchise. Lots of people grew up with those comic books. Lots of people love those characters. And there's approximately 1,000 iterations of the X-Men to choose from, going from all the way through the beginning of the comic books to now and everything in between. Deadpool and Wolverine was a kick-ass movie in my opinion. And it just kind of goes to show, like, there is still people out there, is still a hunger for this. As long as it's a well-told story, that's the biggest thing. So if these are well told stories and
Yeah.
they're presented well, we'll be kind of right back where we were before. Maybe not as gigantic, because I don't think anything is as gigantic in the theater right now. That's just the state of the world we're in.
Yep.
But yeah, do something good. That's what it all comes down to with all these movies, all the stuff. Is just do something good, and it'll find an audience. Especially when you got all the friggin' money and marketing behind them like they do. As long as it's halfway decent, people will go see it.
Fair enough. All right, we got 3 more things to get through, and we're already at an hour here. So I'm gonna kind of try to do these.
You're gonna speed run?
A little bit of a speed run. So from our friends at Gizmodo.com, should we be worried about Mandalorian and Grogu?
I haven't heard of Gizmodo in a while. That's good to know they're still around.
Oh, they're still around. They're still around.
Is Jalopnik out there too?
I don't know. It's not part of the portfolio, so no, it's not.
Gotta work on that.
Until it is, it doesn't exist. It's dead to me. It's dead to me. All right. But this article gets really, to get to the heart of the matter, it is voicing concern because we do not know what exactly this movie is yet. It is a Star Wars movie. We know that. But what's the big hook is the question. And what they reference is there was a clip that came out. Let's see. This article was April 8th. When it was published. So prior to April 8th, there was a clip that was published with Jon Favreau, Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver. They were talking about a bunch of the creatures that are going to be in the film, I think elements of the special effects. And what the writer here is just getting at is that's all well and good, but what's the what is this movie really about though? Like what, other than it's just Star Wars? So I don't know. I thought it was an interesting question to ask. I don't know that I agree myself, but they talk about it's great how far Favreau and team are using grounded techniques, and they're trying to, kind of go back almost like old school to the way they did the creatures and droids in prior movies. But what is the movie about? We know it's about Mando and Grogu helping the New Republic out with some bounties, but there's clearly more to it. Now, of course, I'm sitting here like, well, why do you want to know exactly what it's about? Because then you're going to complain about, what the movie's about, and you don't want to go because you know what the movie's about. Remember earlier in the episode, I talked about bags of hypocrisy that we all are. I think this might qualify for that. You know what I mean?
And I think the Ziploc bag has sprung a leak.
That's the air. That's the air escaping.
I'm sorry. I must have had a bad burrito.
Or if we go back to the Marco story, the airlock has sprung a leak.
Some bitch.
Depressurizing. Marco's getting out.
That's gone over the wall.
Oh my gosh. So thoughts on this and really that's the extent of the article. It's just getting into the fact that we don't know what we don't know, and it's very concerning. Are you concerned? Are you worried? I ask you.
I'm worried for humanity. And I say this as a person who spends an inordinate amount of time, on a podcast where we dissect stuff, and pop culture and all that. But we really, as a culture, as a species, need to stop demanding that we have all of the information around something going into that thing. We need to stop. It is causing an inordinate amount of misery and gnashing of teeth and anger, and it is just taking an enormous toll on our collective psyche. This idea that, well, we need to know exactly what the thing is. Like you said, why do you want to know what the thing is? Then you don't need to go see it. But that's the point that we're at, because everybody has to have, just like if you don't post something about the thing that happened on social media, my gosh, well, you didn't do that. It was like, not everything that happens in this world requires a statement from me. Just like we don't all have to have all of the details about every single fracking thing that's happening. Here's the movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, what was the original Star Wars about? If you were there and sitting there in 1970 whatever, and you saw the trailer or you heard of a new sci-fi movie coming out, how much did you know about it before you went to see it? Probably not a lot. Okay, that was back in the day. That's right. Okay, let's talk about Interstellar. What did you know about Interstellar before you went and saw it in the theater? Well, it's a space movie, and Matthew McConaughey is...
Nothing.
Well, I mean, you know some things because you have the trailer and all this, and maybe you read a couple of articles, but at the same time, like...
Well, I don't know that you could stitch together, like, where it was all going, though.
Exactly.
What? I smell what you're cooking, my brother.
I just don't understand this thing. But I get it. Like, everybody is out there trying to have an opinion. Everybody's trying to run, to gin up the controversy, to get the clicks and all that. But it's like, just go see the effing movie.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about, like, oh my gosh, like, we sit here and talk about doomsday and all this, and we have our theories and we shoot them down or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, I will go to the movie and I will watch it for what it is, because I'm curious what these characters are up to.
That's right.
I will go see Mando and Grogu because I'm curious what these characters are up to.
Now, the next article from StarWarsNewsNet.com is actually going in the vein of what you're talking about, where it is a hopeful article talking about... Now get this, because there's a new TV spot that came out this week, and it really is just kind of a much shorter cut up version of what we've seen from the original trailer.
All right.
But this article points out it features Din Djarin taking missions from Sigourney Weaver's character, I guess her name is Ward, targeting a number of criminal threats like the Hutts, the Pikes, and the Imperial Remnant across a variety of planets, as he also deals with the trials of being a single father. I hadn't thought of that. I guess he is. But yes, sounds like there's some purpose there. Sounds like there's some purpose there. Here's the other part. Early box office tracking for the movie suggests a 3-day opening above $70 million for a 4-day weekend, and the movie's runtime is expected to be about 2 hours and 12 minutes. So we got a little info.
Why are we projecting? Like, when is this movie coming out? It's May, right?
In about a month, yeah. In about a month.
Why are we fracking?
It's all about the money. Here comes the money. Money. Should I start doing the Shane O'Mac, like, rope-a-dope dance there?
I don't think you have the room.
I don't, and the camera won't capture it all. You'll just get my midsection,
right
which,
wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, no one needs to see. So.
No one needs to see mine either. So there's a reason why when I have to take a pee break that I cut before I stand up. It's like a couple of raccoons fighting in a t-shirt.
Let's just say this: it's one of the reasons why the belts are always over the shoulder and not around the waist. So,
amen.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways, let's just go to the movie. Let's go to the movie.
Let's just go and enjoy the movie. Let's not be told everything that's going on. Let's relax, folks. Breathe. All right.
My blood pressure is shot up. Like, I just went to the dentist the other day, and now they take your pressure.
Let me bring it down.
You remember how they take? Do they take your blood pressure when you go to the dentist? Is that just me? Because like, this guy looks like he's stressed.
The dentist?
Yeah.
What sort of crazy ass dentist do you go to?
They've got the one that goes around the wrist, so it does like all the stuff. And I think they just do that now just to make sure, like,
they don't take mine.
He's gonna stroke out while he's in the chair, and my blood pressure was like 117 over 79 or 80. Like, it was like really good. This has got me around 140 over 110 or something. Like,
yep.
I'm not sleeping tonight because of this. Thank you.
Well, hopefully I can bring you down. We can land this episode on a little bit of a somber note. And Uncle Todd has given me the green light to go ahead. I will say, if you are a viewer of For All Mankind and have not seen the third episode, Home, please, you may want to pause at this point, go see the episode, and then pick it back up. Because I will spoil a major doings that has happened in the world of For All Mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, we have speculated, we've pontificated, we have regulated, and we have, I don't know, I can't think of another word. Our fearless hero.
Oh, boy.
Ed Baldwin.
Oh, boy.
Finally closes the door. Elvis has left the building.
So, like, we're talking, like, close the door, like, proper close the door, or is he just, like, retiring?
Ed Baldwin is not going to be moving forward in the For All Mankind series from this point on, because he in the immortal words of one of our Chicago White Sox announcers, he gone. He passed away in very it was done very well. It was done in a very, very well and nice way. It wasn't there's a thread that's going on right now where he he was dealing with some health issues, and he was helping a friend who was in a bind, kind of get away from the security forces on Mars. And by doing that, he ends up aggravating his situation, making it worse. But he's also being stubborn Ed Baldwin, where he doesn't want any help. He doesn't want to get treatment. And so he has kind of like a, final drink with the family, and then kind of go and this whole throughout the whole episode, he's having this like flashback to his time in, I don't know if it was in Korea, probably Korea would make the most sense. And just the whole idea of, having to survive that ordeal and push through. And so you kind of get the sense he's trying to do that at this point. But then they do a fitting end for him. We do have the return of Gordo, who comes back in a memory, and his wife and his son, who passed away in season 1. So it is a fitting end for Ed Baldwin as he shuffles off this mortal coil. But I was happy to see they didn't try to drag it out, and they didn't turn it into something that was like crazy stupid. It was just a poignant, way to end that character. And he really is the last. I don't think there's another character on the show. Oh no, I'm sorry. The gal who worked in Mission Control, then went over to Russia, and then was brought back as a prisoner. Yes. She's probably the only original cast member now from season 1, I think. Oh no, and the gal, her name is Alina. She was started off as a Mexican refugee, and she and actually this I can't think of her name, but the character I just referenced, she kind of takes her under her wing. I think the two of them are the only two kind of original cast members from the first season that have made it or will make it all the way through. So so I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you, sir, but we've been talking about when the heck is crazy Ed Baldwin, like what's new for like what is he going to do at 80 years old? Is he going to make it to season 6 and be 90 years old? He is not. So rest assured, all is good, and we raise a glass to crazy Ed Baldwin. You were crazy. No doubt.
Well, glad you could, put a spin on that one. Well,
I tried. Thoughts on that, sir? Are you relieved to know that he is that he's been properly sent off? Or
I mean, the character deserves it. Long running character, and it might have been a little past time, but at least they did it right.
I read a interview with Joel Kinnaman, who plays Ed Baldwin, and he said he was funny. He was like, I was an absolute mess the last couple of days of filming. He's like, especially when we did that scene where Gordo show, because what ends up happening is he walks he walks the aisle, ladies and gentlemen, woo, with people on either side who are clapping for him. It looks like a scene from when he was an astronaut. He's in the spacesuit, he's walking, and Gordo's next to him as Gordo's saying, are you ready to go home? And that sort of, so. But he's like, as soon as I saw him, and apparently the actor who plays Gordo and the actress who plays his wife, they had other things going on, but they as far as gigs that they were doing, but they wanted to be there for that episode to do that little bit with him, because he just said, you get to know these people. We're all really close. And he's like, I was just a blubbering mess. As soon as I saw him in the full Gordo, shtick with the spacesuit on, he's like, I just started crying like crazy. I just couldn't, cause he was just like, it was just great to see his friend, he's like, he and that actor have gotten very close, and they remain close. And so anyway, so it was just a very poignant way to send Ed Baldwin off. And so now I'm curious with that, how that's going to spark something in the other characters with the current friction that's going on in the season stories and stuff. So he could be the, similar to Luke Skywalker, the spark that ignites the rebellion, if you will. So we will see.
All right.
We'll see. But
about 2 years from now, when I finally get around to watching that, it'll be, the thing is, I'll forget, and it'll be brand new.
Yep. You will not remember this conversation because Lord knows we've had lots of conversations about other things going back a year, and I don't remember any of it. So,
Yeah, me neither.
All right. And that, my friends, is your Week in Geek.
Well, thank you for compiling this once again, sir. What is your and another thing, a recommendation for our viewers and listeners?
It's going to be on the podcast front. I'm in the middle of listening to it right now. Haven't finished it yet. But 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker, where he has JBL on. I've watched some clips of this. And apparently Shawn Michaels, which I have not gotten to yet. So
are they the same episode or two different episodes?
I'm looking here at Spotify, and they have Shawn Michaels and JBL lumped into, let's see, Undertaker and his guests like Shawn Michaels, JBL, and Mark Henry remember crazy bar fights and backstage brawls. So I don't know if they're all in the same room.
Because I think JBL was, I think they're all separate.
They're all separate. Okay, so it must be separate then.
I saw a couple clips of the JBL one.
Yeah, so you and I may have seen the same ones, but man, those stories just look amazing. And of course, JBL tells just amazing Ron Simmons story. Like, do you see the one with what the hell's the guy's name? Teddy Long, where Teddy's driving the car and they had to pull over for a minute and Ron Simmons gets out and then Teddy Long thinks Simmons gets back in the car and takes off. I forget why they
Ron and JBL get out to pee.
Oh, that's what it is. And
it's the middle of a blizzard. And then JBL gets back in, and Teddy just takes off because he's pissed because he doesn't want to stop. And
that's right, because he said they'd been drinking and they were just being obnoxious, and Teddy was just like fried because of their behavior. And so they take the piss, they get back in, he takes off, and JBL's like, he's like, dude, you left Ron back there. And so like he just describes like Teddy puts it in reverse, backs it all the way up, and Ron is just like, he hasn't moved a damn inch. He's just standing there covered in snow.
Snow is like accumulating on his shoulders and his head, and not a word till they get to the hotel. And then he's like, you know, Teddy, like he never valeted because he was so cheap. He didn't want to pay for anything. He's like, he got out of the car, threw the keys to the valet. He was checked in and up the stairs by the time we got into the lobby. And Ron, and he said to Ron, he's like, man, that was totally an accident or this and that and the other. And Ron's like, it was cold though.
Traveling with Ron Simmons has just got to be such a trip.
Well, and then there was one point where they're talking to, he's like, and Undertaker's like, he's like, Ron Simmons could intimidate you, by reciting the alphabet.
Yeah.
You get to like D and you're like, he's going to kill me. Like, because they were talking about
he
how
just
they
has that deep bassy
together.
voice. Oh my gosh!
And he's like, other people would be like, Ron's like, "Oh, I'm going to hit you, and then he's going to hit the shit out of you, and then you're going to do this and that." And he's like, and they'd be like, he's going to kill me.
Yep,
that was just Ron though.
And I know we talked about this a couple episodes ago when we were doing the tag team brackets, but I will say it again: when I was able to be second row at Raw at the Whittemore Center in Durham, 1998, and the Nation of Domination came down. TV does not do justice to how big Ron Simmons is. I mean, his arms were just crazy. And I thought I was being cute because they walked by. I mean, I was right there, second row. I mean, I couldn't reach out and grab him, but I was close enough. And, I said something stupid like, go get him, Ron. Something like I was using his, he was still Farouk at the time, but I was using his name. He didn't even look at me, but it was just one of those things.
Good thing too, because you probably would have shat yourself.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if he shot me a look, I'd be like, oh.
Guys, I got to go home now. I got to go home. I got to lock all the locks. I got to pull all the blinds because
forget the locks. I need to change my shorts after the look.
There was
Lord.
What was the other thing that oh shoot, I just remembered it and then it was gone. But it was part of the episode. Shoot, what was there was another JBL line that he had. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my recommendation. 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker, with a cast of characters: Mark Henry, JBL, Shawn Michaels. Do check it out. Great stories. Just love hearing these guys talk about a time period where we were avid fans, and where the business was in a place of it just seemed like they hit a stride with just creating superstars left, right, and center. And so it's always interesting to hear the stories of these guys on the road and how they, kind of manage things, both, on screen and behind backstage. So
true.
What is your and another thing, Seth?
Well, gee, with that intro,
Sorry, I had to run with it. I had momentum. What can I say?
that matcha came out to right about here. We almost lost containment on that one. Folks would have seen that in HD.
Wasn't that bad? Come on.
My and another thing is the Lost Fire in Kennebunkport, Maine. This is a restaurant.
Has anyone found it yet?
We did.
Oh, okay.
Well, the funny thing is, the first time me and my wife went there, we were out driving around the Jeep, had the top off, and we're just.
I love how you describe. We're driving around the Jeep, top off, radio cranked up. Woo!
Yeah, because I mean that is one, and this is the reason why I have a Jeep. Like, it's not because it's fuel efficient. I'm not one of those people who's going to sit here and piss and moan about gas prices. Like, let me just say that, tying into what we talked about earlier about dumb drivers, I am not the person who is going to be, I can't believe how fill up my gas tank. Dude, a Jeep is the least aerodynamic vehicle this side of a UPS truck. Like, there is nothing aerodynamic about it. It's catching wind everywhere. It has a 6-cylinder engine. Actually, wait, was it V8? Anyways, it's not an efficient engine. It's not a Civic,
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting into when I bought the vehicle. That being said, the reason that I bought it is because it's the most badass convertible you can have. You can take the doors, you can take the top off, all of that, and it's the perfect summer vehicle. And then you have 4-wheel drive and all that, so whatever. But don't bitch about the gas. But anyways, so for us, like, the nice thing is, like, just being able to do that and just going for a ride with the doors off, with the top off, that's its own activity.
Yeah.
And especially if you can go and you can drive down the coast or whatever, it's just fun,
Yeah.
And I mean, with the way gas is, I was going to say it's a cheap date night, but it's not these days. But so we were driving down, along the coast, and we had never seen this place before, and we're, kind of went by it, and I was like, that's kind of weird. I never seen that restaurant before, and we were both kind of hungry. I'm like, all right, let's spin back around, let's go. So we went there, and it's not like a jacket and tie place, but it is a little, upper crust. And we sat outside. We sat outside.
The man they call Tim is rubbed off on you a little bit, huh?
A little bit.
All
So we
right.
sat outside the first time because they had like a patio area with a fire pit and all that. So we sat outside because we were not dressed for like going out to a really nice restaurant. Then we went back to some friend of ours, and like a year later, and then this year when we were going to do Easter, because I had the whole fam here, one of the options was going to Easter brunch. Well, Easter brunch, they know you're coming, and they're going to rake you over the coals. They wanted like $80 a piece at a couple places that we were looking at for Easter brunch. Fixed menu. I'm like, I will not be paying $80 for scrambled eggs and a piece of sausage. That ain't happening. So instead, we went out and we had an Easter Eve dinner with a family, and we went to the Lost Fire, and they're kind of renowned as a steak place. So they have some really good steaks on the menu. Then they also have like I forget what they call it, but it's kind of like the place down in Portsmouth that I described to you. Like they have like their normal cuts on the menu, which are already really good cuts. Like they got filet mignon, they've got tomahawk steak, they've got all kinds of stuff on there. But then they actually have like their meat cellar, which is like deep cuts, and those are like 2-inch thick steaks that they have there. Not cheap. This is not a cheap dinner. However, it is friggin' fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
So I had the filet. My wife and Kaylin both had the skirt steak, which was tremendous. With all of that, plus a couple appetizers and an old fashioned, still wound up being like what it would have cost for the $80 per person. It was under that. I was like, and it was a much better meal.
Nice.
So definitely check that out. It's a cool environment. Like
there's no menu link on the website. I'm trying to find the menu.
They change it up, dude. So you kind of have to go there. It might be on social media if you look for it there, but trust me, the stuff there is really good. They've got a good bourbon selection as well. Very cool place inside. If you go, like, I'm guessing in a few weeks here, maybe they'll start running their outside area, which is also kind of cool. But it's a real fun place, and it's not your cheaper place to go to dinner. However, it is one of those places where I feel like you actually do get a good value. Like it's good steak. It's something you can do like once a month, every other month, or something, a couple times a year if you want something special. This is kind of a cool place to go where you don't feel like you have to get, too gussied up, but you gussy a little bit more than you normally would, but it's still pretty cool. So yeah, check out the Lost Fire in Kennebunkport, Maine, if you are in the vicinity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Week in Geek Wednesday. Thank you all for tuning in. We so appreciate you. Go ahead to freerangeidiocy.com. You can find all of our Week in Geek episodes there, plus our Free Range Idiocy episodes there. You can subscribe to the Podbean app. You can also find us on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, fine podcast purveyors everywhere of every stripe, all over the interwebs. You can also find full video episodes on our YouTube channel. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. All of those are at Free Range Idiocy. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, or offers or outright bribery, send those to tim@freerangeidiocy.com. As soon as he puts down his belt, he'll get back to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand this back over to Tim. He's going to take us home, sir. What do you got to say for yourself?
To the interwebs. To the interwebs, we say, you suspect. We don't know what your reputation is in this town, but after what you tried to pull today, we can bet we'll be looking into you. And to our listeners, we say good day, ladies and gentlemen. And until that day comes, keep your ear to the grindstone.
You're messing with my Zen thing, man.
Now get the hell out of here!